Hi, buddy. My name is John Fisher. Welcome to SalesLeads.tv. Sophisticated investors. So, there's accredited investors. There's qualified accredited investors. I'm not quite sure why they have this sophisticated investor, term. I think when it comes to my business, I sell accredited investors for people that are selling private placements, and I sell numismatic coin buyers. That's the only two products I sell: gold, silver, numismatic coin buyers, and accredited investors. So an accredited investor is supposed to be sophisticated, and that's why they want them. They want a person that's able to take that kind of risk because private placements are inherently risky. But the purpose of this video is to help me improve my rankings with Google, to give you a clear message, to get rid of as much confusion as possible, and to give you as much information as possible. Now, if you have any websites and you have a concern with your ranking and stuff like that, Google is constantly jumping up and down like a jumping bean, always changing penguin updates and your mama updates. I mean, it's just very, very hard to keep with them. Artificial intelligence comes out and it looks like a great idea. Who better than a computer that's got all the answers to ask for all the answers? And then recently Google comes out, no, we're not okay with that. You just can't use artificial intelligence because it's too generic and it's too spammy and oh my God. So, you just can never figure out what these people want. Kind of reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. And, but anyway, I came up with a brilliant solution. Let's see how well it works. I'm going to take this AI, artificial intelligence. I'm going to look at the keyword, and then I'm going to go ahead and critique the artificial intelligence. Because with all due respect, artificial intelligence has been around, I don't know how long, but I've been doing this for 32 years. And my intelligence is not artificial. It's the real thing. So I'm going to read what artificial intelligence has to say, and I'm going to critique it. I'm going to agree with what I agree with and disagree. And I'm hoping that the end product you get is something that makes sense, and you appreciate me for getting rid of all the vagueness and all the craziness. After all, it is a computer. I was taking a look at when I first got introduced to AI. I started looking at a couple different arenas, and I noticed how it's not that sharp, but it is the beginning, and they're just starting to figure it out. So I think they've done quite well, for where they're at right now. But let's get going. So, sophisticated investor. According to AI, sophisticated investors are individuals or entities with a high level of knowledge and experience in investing in financial matters. Sophisticated investors typically have a higher risk tolerance and are able to evaluate and understand complex financial instruments and investment opportunities. The term sophisticated investor is not defined by law, but is commonly used in the financial industry to describe investors who are able to participate in certain investment opportunities that are not available to the general public. In general, sophisticated investors are individual entities that have a high net worth, substantial investment experience, a professional designation such as licensed security dealers, investment, and attorneys. The criteria for being considered a sophisticated investor may vary depending on the regulatory body and the investment opportunity. One main advantage of being a sophisticated investor, so far it's sounding like gibberish, is the ability to participate in certain investment opportunities that are not available for the general public. Sophisticated investors may access private equity investments, hedge funds, other alternative investments that are not subject to the same regulations as publicly traded securities. So I disagree, because if you want to invest in a private placement, you have to be an accredited investor. And if you want to invest in a hedge fund, you not only have to be accredited, you have to be a qualified accredited investor. So two different things there. So, wrong. Oops. Sophisticated investors also have the ability to evaluate and understand complex financial instruments such as derivatives, options, This allows them to make an informed investment decision and gibberish, potentially generate higher returns. However, being a sophisticated investor, here comes the risk disclosure. Also comes with certain risk responsibilities. Sophisticated investors are expected to conduct through due diligence before investing in any opportunity. They have a higher level of financial knowledge and expertise. Again, it sounds to me like gibberish. Sophisticated investors also have a higher level of legal regulatory obligations. Investment advisors, security dealers are subject to strict regulatory requirements including registration with the Security Exchange Commission and the adherence to certain ethical and professional standards. In addition, sophisticated investors may also be subject to increased scrutiny and potential liability in the event of investment losses or other issues. Just for anybody. It's important to note that being sophisticated does not guarantee investment success. Ridiculous. Of course it doesn't. Matter of fact, if you're involved in these kind of investments, 90% of them go south. So, that's why they want you to be sophisticated. Investors should still conduct due diligence, blah, blah, blah. In conclusion, here comes their risk disclosure. Financial obligations should conduct due diligence and be aware of the risk associated with alternative investments. So, with all due respect, I've never liked this this keyword. I don't understand why so many people, punch into Google, hey, I'm looking for sophisticated investors. If you want to get involved in a private placement, they're not going to ask you if you're a sophisticated investor. They're going to ask you, are you an accredited investor? And they're going to ask you, hey, do you make $200,000 for the last 2 years? Or combined $300,000 income. They're going to ask you, do you have $1 million net worth, not including your home? They're going to ask you, do you have experience in managing your personal portfolio? They're going to ask you, can you see any reason why you shouldn't maintain that level of income for the next couple of years? And then they take it a step further with the leads I sell you. They're going to say, hey, it's $25,000 to $50,000 a comfortable entry level. Is it risk capital? And they mail them a private placement memorandum. That's what I sell, not the sophisticated investor gibberish. You got to do, and you got to pay attention to what it is they're asking for. And if you're doing a Reg D, a private placement, Reg D 506C, C is in Charlie, and you shouldn't be doing anything else but that if you're doing a private placement, because it's the most newest, up to date. It's the most streamlined. It allows you to solicit. It allows you to advertise, as opposed to a Reg D 504, 505, 506B as a boy, where you have to have a 30-day cooling off period and only allowed to use people that you have a pre-existing relationship with. So if you have a security attorney and he said, yeah, here's your memorandum, and you don't see the little C, you should fire that guy. And before you even pay him a penny, you could say to him, which vehicle do you suggest we use? A 504, 505, or 506? And if he doesn't come back and say to you that he should be doing a Reg D 506C, little c in parentheses, as opposed to a little b as in boy in parentheses, all he's going to do is take your money. Hey, how do you know when a lawyer got hit by a car? No skid marks. So be careful, guys. Now, to me, the ultimate sophisticated investor is a guy that goes to a hedge fund. And the SEC has strict rules about who can invest in a hedge fund. Guess what? Just being an accredited investor is not good enough. You have to have at least $250,000 minimum risk capital, and you have to have at least $5 million in investable assets. That's a question that they ask you. We have those, by the way. They're called the big dogs. These are $5 million plus businesses that have been called up. The owners, the major shareholders, the CEOs, and so on. And they were asked, hey, we're doing a drilling venture. We're doing a master private placement, and you must have at least $250,000 to invest. It's got to be risk capital. Each unit is $250,000. And then they say, hey, do you have $5 million in investable assets? And the guy has to say yes. Now you're talking about a real big boy. So remember, there's your normal investor that does numismatic coins and whatever. There's your accredited investor, who's the first level of a sophisticated guy that has some real good credentials, the $200,000 income, million net worth, not including his home. And the third level of sophistication is a master private placement, or what we call a qualified accredited investor. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, 561-239-0364. Have a beautiful day, and God bless. Thank you, AI. Oof.